welcome to the Deep Dive. Today's Deep Dive is brought to you by AI Opportune. Really, your front row seat to what's next in artificial intelligence.
That's right. We go deep so you don't get lost in, all the noise. AI Opportune is really where emerging tech meets practical strategy. It gives founders, creatives, anyone curious, really, the tools and insights they need to shape what's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want that weekly edge on AI, you should definitely subscribe to AI Opportune.
You really should.
So today, our mission it cuts across finance and tech. We're diving into a whole stack of insights about how AI is just rapidly transforming insurance.
Right.
We're talking 2026, so this is happening now.
Right. It's not science fiction anymore. And for you listening, the goal today is pretty critical.
Right.
We need to understand this balancing act insurers are trying to perfect.
Balancing act.
Yeah. They're using AI for, incredible speed and scale, protecting profits, speeding up payouts. But, crucially, they're also trying to use these very tools to rebuild customer trust.
So it's data-driven, but there's this human element, too.
Exactly. It's driven by data, absolutely. But it has to be anchored in the need for human empathy. That's the tightrope they're walking.
Okay, let's start with what our sources are calling the quiet revolution.
Yeah.
Quiet because, you don't see AI inside stamped on your policy.
Right. It's working behind the scenes.
But it's reshaping everything, from pricing to claims. So what does that actually look like,
Yeah.
On the ground?
It looks like things happening almost instantly. Think about a traditional claim. Days, sometimes weeks of back and forth. Now, AI is working across that whole workflow.
In what way?
Well, it's spotting potential fraud in milliseconds, pricing risk with an accuracy we just couldn't achieve a few years back, and resolving routine claims, sometimes, in minutes. Maybe even before the customer hangs up the phone.
That speed is wow.
Yeah.
But insurance, it's always been about long-term data, manual checks. Why the big push for this tech now? Did the old model just break?
In a way, yeah. It just can't keep up the volume, the velocity of modern risk. It's immense.
I mean, things like climate change, cyber attack.
Exactly. Climate events, cyber threats, fragile supply chains, the list goes on. Traditional methods, manual underwriting, claims adjustment. They're too slow, too prone to error, honestly, too expensive.
So the driver is efficiency, or more.
It's about enabling insurers to actually deliver on their core promise. Protect people, respond faster, and make decisions based on real-time insight, not just historical guesses.
And the sources get really specific here. It's not just better models. They talk about 3 pillars of smarter risk management. Great nuggets for anyone listening.
Oh, definitely. The first one is maybe the most transformative, especially with all the climate volatility we're seeing. It's climate modeling on demand.
Okay, tell me more. That sounds like adjusting risk in real time.
That's pretty much it. AI models can simulate climate disasters, but not just based on old patterns. They use real-time inputs.
Like what kind of inputs?
Granular stuff, satellite data, advanced weather forecasts, IoT sensors out in the field. This lets underwriters, the folks assessing risk before you get insured, adjust premiums, adjust coverage.
Wait, before a storm even forms, based on a prediction.
Yes, it completely shifts underwriting from, say, a static annual review to something continuous, active.
That's a huge shift in how risk is defined. Wow. Okay, what's the second pillar?
The second one involves keeping customers. It's called predictive retention.
Right, I found this one fascinating. How does an algorithm know I might be thinking of switching carriers?
It looks at signals, dozens of them actually. How often you use the app, if you've been getting quotes online, recent claims history, even how often you call support. These algorithms can flag potential churn weeks ahead.
Weeks. Okay, so if I get flagged, does that mean I get annoying please stay calls? Doesn't that feel a bit intrusive?
That's the tension. You're right. It's a strategic challenge. If it's done badly, yes, it feels invasive. But the idea is to give human agents time. Time to reach out proactively, maybe with something actually useful.
Like a discount or advice.
Exactly. A new discount, maybe simplifying your policy. It's about shifting the agent away from just reactive sales towards being more of a client advisor, trying to help before you're already looking elsewhere.
Okay, that makes sense. A proactive advisor, not just a retention call. And the third pillar, high stakes, this one, fraud detection at scale.
Yeah, this is where the sheer processing power of cloud-based AI really shines. Organized fraud today is incredibly sophisticated.
Too much for human teams to catch manually.
Way too much. Human teams scanning documents, trying to spot subtle links across millions of policies. It's impossible. AI can scan and correlate data points in seconds. It flags the really suspicious patterns that humans would likely miss.
So it handles the scale, humans investigate the flags.
Precisely.
All right, we've talked theory, the pillars, but here's where it gets really interesting. The real-world examples. This isn't just talk, it's happening now. What are the key examples showing this AI in action?
Well, the one everyone points to for automated claims is Lemonade. They use an open source AI called Jim.
Jim, okay. How does Jim work?
It's a good example of that technical balance. So a customer files a simple claim, let's say under $1,000. Jim instantly checks the policy, runs the claim against fraud patterns, and looks at the metadata around the filing.
Metadata, like what?
Things like, how long did the person hover over certain fields in the online form? Where was the claim submitted from geographically? Does it match their usual location? Even the tone of the written description.
Huh. So if all that looks clean?
It's clean. Under the threshold, the system triggers an instant payout. Jim apparently resolves over 50% of their claims with zero human touch. Only the tricky edge cases get escalated.
50%.
Yeah.
That's huge efficiency. But does that speed ever compromise, the customer experience? Or are they just automating the super easy ones?
It seems to be the easiest and cleanest claims. And the sources suggest that by taking the friction out of those simple payouts, customer satisfaction actually goes up.
Okay, that makes sense. Less hassle is good.
And it's not just the newer companies. Look at Allianz. They expanded their AI claims routing. Result: mid-size auto payouts accelerated by up to 60%. That's a massive improvement for the customer, directly from AI sorting things instantly.
And it's not just claims, right? You mentioned underwriting earlier.
Right. Swiss Re, for example, they use AI to refine underwriting by combining geospatial data, so location, terrain, with weather patterns, even behavioral data. It gives them a much sharper picture of the actual risk.
So this isn't niche anymore. What do the industry numbers say?
It's definitely mainstream now. A 2026 Deloitte survey found, get this, 78% of global insurers now use AI to enhance claims or underwriting.
78%. So if you're not doing it...
You're officially behind the curve. Yeah, it's table stakes.
And the financial impact, it must be significant.
Oh, absolutely. Capgemini reported AI automation cutting fraud losses by as much as 35% in some pilots. That directly helps the bottom line. And ultimately, that should help stabilize premiums for everyone else.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Speed, profit protection, those are clear wins. But the sources argue the biggest win AI offers is actually rebuilding trust.
Yeah.
How does faster processing lead to more trust?
It's about what the humans do with the time AI frees up. That's the critical piece people often miss.
Okay.
When AI handles the sheer volume of routine stuff, simple claims, quick checks, it fundamentally changes the human role, claims adjusters. They're now freed up to focus entirely on the high-emotion, high-impact cases, the really difficult situations.
And agents, you mentioned they move away from paperwork.
Exactly. They can escape the form-filling nightmare and actually focus on proactive advising, building relationships, offering foresight, less processing, more connecting.
That sounds like a massive cultural shift for these companies.
It is. Customers get faster answers for simple things. And then when something truly bad happens, they get the human empathy they desperately need. Because let's be honest, and the sources really emphasize this,
Yeah.
no algorithm can comfort someone whose house just flooded. No cone can truly explain a denied cancer claim to a grieving family member. Those moments need genuine human connection, nuance, empathy.
Right. The algorithm can't do that. And that distinction, that's what defines the successful model in 2026, avoiding the full robo-adjuster.
Yes, it's all about hybrid teams. That's the key. A clear division of labor. AI handles the scale, the data, the initial flags. People handle the complexity, the judgment, the negotiation, the care.
So the investment isn't just in the tech anymore.
Not at all. Forward-thinking leaders see the biggest investment now is retraining their staff.
Retraining them for what exactly? That sounds like a huge challenge. Agents used to processing forms now need to be counselors.
Pretty much. Moving from clerical tasks to high-stakes communication and resolution. So leaders are investing heavily in coaching, advanced communication skills, how to make final judgment calls on those AI-flagged edge cases.
And how to explain what the AI decided.
Crucially, yes. How to translate algorithmic outputs into human language, into something understandable and hopefully fair-seeming. The agent's job shifts from data entry to interpretation, advice, managing that critical point where the machine decision meets the customer's emotional reality.
That's a completely different skill set. You need the EQ, the emotional intelligence, but also enough tech literacy to work with the AI.
Absolutely. And rebuilding trust really hinges on getting that transition right. If the human interaction fails at that point of complexity or emotion, all the speed the AI provided doesn't mean much. The speed just creates the opportunity for a better human interaction down the line.
Okay, let's pull back. Big picture time. What does this all mean for you listening, whether you're in the industry or just a customer? The sources seem pretty urgent about this.
Yeah, the real risk here is simply falling behind. Customer expectations. They're changing fast. People expect speed, transparency, and AI development isn't slowing down if your team isn't actively experimenting.
Experimenting with dynamic pricing, automated claims, fraud detection.
Right. If you're not exploring those hybrid team models, you're basically letting competitors who are doing it take the lead.
But the good news, as you mentioned earlier, is that you don't have to figure all this out alone.
Right.
That's where AI Opportune comes in, right? Providing those playbooks, strategies, tools.
Exactly. We're here to help you navigate this. To get you started on that transformation, explained clearly, no hype, just what works.
We want to leave you with a final thought today,
Sure.
something to chew on. If AI takes over detecting fraud and processing all the routine claims in seconds, and the human agents, their main job becomes handling the high-stakes denials, the really complex emotional negotiations, how do insurers stop those human interactions from just being conflict zones, where the agent is almost always the bearer of bad or difficult news?
That's a really sharp point. Managing that new definition of the human touch point, that's the next big challenge for this hybrid model, isn't it?
It really is.
So, for those of you ready to build that smarter, faster, more trusted insurance operation, a good place to start is exploring the resources at AI Opportune. We've got actionable lists on things like the best AI fraud platforms for 2026, claims tools that deliver, and critically detailed advice on how to train your agents to work effectively with AI.
Definitely check that out. Stay with AI Opportune, these breakthroughs in insurance. They're really just getting started.